Hello and welcome to Bloomfield Stadium, the home of the Blackpool Panthers and the venue for the 7th edition of Inside the Knights. This afternoon, the York City Knights take on the Blackpool Panthers in a crucial NL2 fixture. And after last weekend's sensational win at Dewsbury and the Rams' surprising defeat away at Sheffield on Friday night, a win today could put the Knights 5 points clear at the top of the table. Those of you that were at Dewsbury would agree it was probably one of the afternoons of the season. And to discuss that game and other issues, I went down to training on Thursday night to speak to the Knights prop, Adam Sullivan. 23-year-old prop Adam Sullivan signed for the Knights in July 2004 from neighbours Hull KR. It was a big boost for the club when Adam re-signed for this season after a lot of interest from NL1 clubs, and this season he has made a big contribution to the team's success. And who can forget that man of the match performance at Keighley earlier in the season? So Adam, we're going to have to start off with talking about the amazing performance on Sunday against Dewsbury. What was it like to play in that game?
Oh, it was good. It's what you play rugby for, to play in those sort of games. I mean, every player wants to play in front of big crowds in top of the table clashes. So it's what you play the game for, you know. So yeah, it's good. It's good feeling.
14-0 at half time though. It's got a bit of a battery in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected that, to be perfectly honest, and I think if we were honest, we was probably lucky to only go in at 14 points down. But I mean, we've done it a few times this season. We've done it against Keighley and Swinton as well. So I mean, I think the amount of training we get down here as well, we had enough in the tank. We knew that they'd tire in the second half, so we was always confident. There was no negative talk in the changing room. So yeah.
It's a lot of defence. Mick told me that there's 175 tackles going in the first half when you could maybe average 250 in a game.
Yeah, it's tough going, but we kind of expected it, and during the week that's what we concentrated on in training. So it didn't surprise us, and we kind of like absorbed all the battering we took in the second half. We showed what a good team we are. So.
Were Dewsbury as good as you thought?
Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of a freak result down here. But we've got we've got maybe 4 or 5 ex-Super League players, you know. It's that sort of quality. We're a good team, you know. We've spent a lot of money this year, and obviously we're after some success, but hopefully we can nick it, you know. But yeah, we're a good team, you know.
So quite a lot of celebrations. You can see the players jumping on top of each other at the end of the game. How much did it mean to the squad to get that win?
Yeah, it was, because I mean, there's been a bit of stuff in the press about Dewsbury, you know, and obviously they've got a lot of big name players who, as I said, playing Super League last year, you know. So it's always good to get one of your closest rivals, you know, especially after the poor performance down here against Gateshead. It was good to show the fans that we're back on form, really.
So we're 3 points clear with 5 games left. We've got 1 foot through the door to NL1.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we've got, maybe I shouldn't say, but we've got a cushion now that we can afford to lose a game. Obviously we don't want to, but I mean, it's nice to be able to lose a game, you know. Our destiny is in our own hands, you know, which is how we want it to be.
So let's think about the next game, Blackpool away. Will they present us with any problems?
Yeah, we've watched them on tape tonight, and they're a different team from who we played in round 7. You know, they're enthusiastic, and we've got some good players. I mean, Willie Swan, he played for Lee last year. He won the league, you know, so he's a hell of a player, and he's like their leader. I think he's the coach now, so he'll direct them about the park. So.
You've received a lot of praise this season for some of your performances, especially thinking about that one at Keighley earlier in the season. How do you think your season's gone?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, this is probably the first season where I've played constant rugby non-stop. I mean, Cookie's shown a lot of faith in me, and hopefully I've repaid him, you know. I mean, I've had a couple. I mean, the Workington game wasn't my best game, and I got dropped, and maybe it gave me a bit of a rest, and you know, it gave like Youssef and Batesy a bit of a chance, but now I'm glad to be back in starting. That's what everyone wants to be. Everyone wants to be starting, and I mean I'm just trying to be consistent. At the start of the season, I just set out to play regular and just kick on from there, and it's going well. I've been very happy with. It's kind of surprised me as well, my own form, but yeah, I'm very happy with where things have gone.
So you're very popular on the terraces with the Knights supporters. Now at Dewsbury, the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic, and standing there was absolutely wonderful. How much of a boost does it give you when the fans are noisy and support in numbers like they do?
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Like you go. I mean, on away trips we'll meet at White Bear Pub, and it's absolutely packed after games. Even if when we was 14-0 down, they were still cheering us on. It's unbelievable. I've never been at a club like it. Even after the grand final last year, there was cheering and everything, and I've never been at a club that'd be like that. It's unbelievable, to be honest. It really is, especially at rugby league. A few of the teams I've been at, the fans will just turn on you. But it's unbelievable. It really is.
So if we get the reward we hopefully deserve and win this division, do you think we can make an impact in National League One next year? Yeah,
definitely. I think, it'll be tough, and obviously number one priority would be to avoid relegation. But there's no reason to, as long as we consolidate next year, there's no reason why in a couple of years' time we can't be pushing. We've already got the fans and the community development in place. It's just we need to get things right on the pitch. So I think everything's in place, ready for hopefully a good run next year, and maybe playoff place or whatever,
Well, Adam, I hope you're right, and thanks very much for your time tonight.
Yeah, no worries, thanks.
Throughout the season, a big army of supporters has followed the Knights all around the country, and another large turnout is expected here today in Blackpool. So to talk about the Knights support, I've come to speak to a member of the Knights Supporters Club Committee, Tony Brown. Tony Brown and the other members of the Supporters Club Committee provide the club with an absolutely crucial outlet for fundraising. As well as raising cash for important parts of the club's work, like the scholarship scheme, the Supporters Club also run a number of events to keep supporters entertained and to galvanise support for the club. So Tony, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Blackpool. How many Knights fans do you think will turn up today?
I would think we'll have between 500 and 600 Knights fans today. We had a lot down for the weekend. We've had a good weekend, and as you say, we've had a great weekend weather-wise. Not wet outside, definitely inside.
So as a Supporters Club Committee member, are you happy with the level of support the team has received this season?
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. The directors and that, and I know we as a committee are absolutely pleased that we've gone from the first season 1,300 to 1,500. I believe we're averaging over 2,000 this year, but it's the away fans. No matter where we go, we just outnumber away fans 2-3 to 1 sometimes. It's awesome. I expect the same today.
So has the growth in numbers of the supporters, both home and away, has that affected the work of the Supporters Club?
Oh, we have a bit more work to do, yes, certainly. We, as a committee, I've been on a lot of committees through my union and various other clubs, but I can honestly say it's the committee that I work with now. We're all striving for one thing. Mike Miller, our chairman, an awesome guy. He has us all in place. Our feet are firmly kept on the ground with Mike, believe you me. And you've got Gary and Big Ian doing some superb work with the race nights, video nights, quiz nights, trying the best to generate money, because at the end of the day we're raising money for the scholarship scheme. And if we can get that off the ground firmly, the Knights' progression to Super League must come a lot quicker than what we would expect.
So the team is very, very well supported. How well supported is the Supporters Club?
Well, we have good dues and we have bad dues like everything else, Phil. And sometimes we'll have a quiz night, we maybe get 20 there. We have a race night, we get 100 there. They have a disco, maybe get 50 there. We had a gala at Huntington Sports Club, which was a tremendous success. And the weather held out for us, and we had a great day, and we raised a lot of money for the scholarship scheme. And at the end of the day, the scholars are the future of York City Knights.
And moving on to something which is a bit less positive, this incident which has been reported of racism at Huntington Stadium. How shocked were you that something like that could happen at such a good family club like York City Knights?
Well, that day, to be fair, all the second half I stood with Roger Dixon, one of the finest people I've ever met, to be honest with you, and I didn't see anything of it, I didn't hear anything of it. The only thing I did see was the Gateshead player swearing at the young ball boy, and I believe the comment, and I have spoke to several people about it, that the comment was, get back to where you came from. I would believe that that comment was made in the text of get back to Gateshead. There's no way in rugby league, anywhere, in any sport, is there any racism, or we don't need racism. And I believe this fan could be maybe being given a bit of stick for something that has been taken out of text, because it all started with the Gateshead player sticking his fingers up at the crowd, so that was the incitement in the first place. I've been with the Knights now for 3 years. I followed the Wasps, I followed York right back to 1970, and I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. Any game, no matter where I've been in any rugby, I've never seen anything of it, and we don't want it.
Now, the overwhelming majority of Knights fans are excellent and really get behind the team. How do you think they've enjoyed the season so far?
Oh, absolutely splendid, especially after Friday night's results. Sheffield beating Dewsbury. We're on an high, and we deserve to be on an high after last season. And in fairness to the players, they played for 11 months last year and had 2 Sundays off, and something had to give, and unfortunately it was 8 minutes in a final. But there's a man at the club, and I don't think he gets the credibility he deserves, and that's Colin Sanctuary. These lads are the fittest. They've got to be the fittest outside Super League. They are absolutely awesome, and it shows every game we play in the second half. We wear them down in the first half, and our fitness is awesome, absolutely superb.
Finally, Tony, have you got any champagne in the fridge?
It's still there from last year, unfortunately, but they say vintage champagne's even better, so yeah, there'll be a few bottles cracked without a doubt.
Well, enjoy your afternoon, Tony, and thanks for your time.
I will. Thank you very much, Phil.
Well, kick-off time is fast approaching here at Bloomfield Stadium, and it's getting to the time when we should be taking our seats. Join us after the break for all the action from today's crucial NL2 fixture. It's all go on Statzone once again, as we bring you up to date with the current statistical state of affairs. And a look at the results from round 13 of the National League 2 season sees another win for the York City Knights. A massive army of Knights supporters travelled to the Tetley Stadium for the top of the table clash with the Rams. However, a tough start and an impressive attacking display from Dewsbury saw heads in hands at half time, with the score at 14-0 to the hosts. But an amazing second half display saw the Knights run in tries from Jim Elston, Neil Law, Peter Fox and an 80th minute score by Dan Potter, who was recently credited with the try after it was originally awarded to Darren Callahan, sent the crowd into raptures. If the Knights do win the title, people will look back on this game as the day when the pendulum swung towards York, a game that could be one of those that lives long in the memory. Elsewhere in round 13, there were wins for Blackpool Panthers, Workington Town, Sheffield Eagles and Swinton Lions. And as you've just seen, round 14 ended with another win for the York City Knights, further increasing their lead at the top, as we'll see in a moment. As mentioned in the programme, the lead was extended due to the Eagles' win over title rivals the Dewsbury Rams at the Don Valley Stadium on Friday night, Sheffield completing a league double over the Rams. A brace apiece from fullback John Crawford and centre Alex Dickinson, plus a single score from halfback Gavin Brown, sealed a handsome 27-12 win. In other matches, Keighley and Gateshead drew 20 points each at Cougar Park, Workington won in London and Swinton had an excellent win over the Hunslet Hawks. A look at the top of the LHF Health Plan National League 2 table sees the Knights 5 points clear at the top with only 4 matches remaining in the calendar. Dewsbury remain in second place despite their loss at Sheffield, but are now joined on 19 points by a dangerous Workington side that are having an excellent run at present. And Swinton's win over Hunslet sees them put some fresh air between the two playoff contenders. At the bottom, the Blackpool Panthers are propping up the division, which is a surprise considering the strength of their play at times, and London lie above them on points difference. Gateshead's playoff aspirations have taken a major dent with 1 defeat and 1 draw, but Sheffield appear to be back in business with some much improved performances, including that great result against Dewsbury. Now let's take a look at the table of leading try scorers. And no surprises here, as Peter Fox leads the way and will certainly now finish the season as the Knights' leading try scorer for 2005. His tally of 21 tries now equals the record set by Chris Langley for the number of tries in a season, and he will almost certainly set a new total with 4 games still to go. Dan Potter can also be satisfied with his work so far with a healthy 12 tries, then it's Neil Law with 11, and then Chris Levy and Matt Blameyer both have 9 tries each for the season. Plenty more tries to come as the Knights march on. Finally on Statzone, let's show you the forthcoming fixtures both at home and away for the York City Knights. Next up is the home game with London Scholars and Ladies' Day at Huntington Stadium. This is a surefire win for the Knights, but a good performance will be desirable to keep the promotion momentum going. Then it's what could be the biggest afternoon in recent years at South Leeds Stadium against the Hunslet Hawks. If the Knights beat London and then win this game on the 21st of August, they will be crowned champions of National League 2. A massive following is expected, but it'll be a tricky game, with Hunslet having already beaten the Knights in the Northern Rail Cup, and they also did the league double over York last season. If the unexpected happens, then it'll be a tough test to beat Workington Town 2 weeks later, the week break being due to the Challenge Cup final at the weekend in between. Memories of last year's 70-point mauling will be fresh in the minds of the Cumbrians, but memories of the 44-28 defeat this season will be fresh in the minds of York. It should be another fascinating afternoon. So, by the time of the next edition of Inside the Knights should be league champions. Good luck to them for these crucial games. So the final score here at Bloomfield Stadium, the Blackpool Panthers 22, the York City Knights 54. Another tremendous victory for the lads from York. So let's have a word with the York City Knights head coach, Mick Cook. The next few weeks will be crucial for Mick Cook as he bids to become the man who finally leads the Knights to the promotion the club has been hoping for since inception. Considering this is his first head coach post, this will be a fantastic achievement for Mick, and I started by asking him for his thoughts on another Knights victory.
It was a good win for us. You know, we've probably conceded too many points than what we probably anticipated. We threw a little bit, a bit of loose defence, but we clicked into gear at times. I thought we rolled the start of the game real well when we coughed up the ball a couple of times, and we had 7 sets to defend, and we only had 1 on to play the ball, and came back real strong and got back into their 50 and stayed there. And I think that sort of asked the questions of their defence, and obviously we went in comfortable at half time, so pretty pleased that we rolled out the bit of a shaky start, got in control, started getting control of the arm wrestle half time, well in control of the game, so yeah, pretty pleased really.
So we conceded 22 points, that seems like quite a lot.
Yeah, that's disappointing. The first try I can give them that, they scored off a kick, it deflected off the post. I think if it had rolled into the in goal, I thought we had it covered. We had players around the ball. It deflects off the post, turns out to be a try, and another one from a try, a kick, another try from a kick. So not too disappointed with those, but the two in the second half we need to have a look at, because they were just loose defence from the back of the scrum. We should have had players out there, and we gave them a little bit too much width. And we knew that Gamble is like he's another version of Rob Burrow. He's just like electrifying pace off the mark. Then he showed us what he can do. And the other one, poor decision making with Swan. So not too happy about those. We'll be looking to fix them up. But overall, we've scored 50 points, so we can't be too disappointed with that offensive game.
It was a completely different type of game from last week at Dewsbury.
Oh, chalk and cheese. We're playing the team below us that need 2 points to get within scratching distance, and we've come here who's bottom of the league. Last week's game needed no motivation from anybody. The players want to play in those big games and do really well, and we're coming here second bottom of the league. We knew they had something to offer with the ball, but we also knew that they struggled defensively. But it's difficult sometimes, but we have to be a little bit stronger, I think. We've got another game next week against London Scholars, and they're going to be highly motivated to come to Huntington. We've got to make sure we're just as motivated to win the game, because they've improved as well. So, and as you know, we're not far off doing something special, and we need to keep our finger on the button and make sure that we don't have any slip-ups.
Are you surprised that Blackpool have only got 4 points out of 14 games?
I am surprised. Yeah, I said when we played them back at Huntington, I just thought they've probably underachieved a little bit. They have some, they had some good players. The kid who was outstanding for them at the time, Godby, they let him go for disciplinary reasons, but they've got some good players. As you saw, the half-backs today totally control the game. They point them around the field. The kicking game's excellent, and they're probably a bit unlucky not to have more points. Unfortunately, defensively, they've got a little bit more work to do, because it's letting them down a bit.
One nice thing for the supporters today was the return of Austin Buchanan. Obviously, he's been working hard in training. Were you a bit kind of worried about him taking his first run out today?
No, it was never intention to throw him on for the 80. I just want to get him back into contact and things like that. And obviously, I think when you've come back from a serious break, obviously did that back in round 1 of the Northern Rail Cup. It can be in the back of your mind, you know, but he didn't hold anything back today. He's got through the last, whatever it was, 20-25 minutes, and it was great to see him back on there. He just gives the team so much. He's got pace. He's an exciting player. He gets back and covers in defence. So it's good to see. You know, good to have him back in the squad.
Now, Mick, I'm trying not to get overexcited, but today's result puts us 5 points clear at the top of the league. Are your feet on the ground still, or have you got one eye on that trophy now?
No, I think our feet would still need to be on the ground. We spoke about it last week. This job is far from over. There's still 8 points up for grabs, so mathematically it can be taken from you if you don't, you know, if you take your finger off. So we're okay at the moment. We understand where we need to be. We spoke about it at the start of the season, but then we just forgot about it and got on with weekly games. And I think it's paid off. You know, we've not looked too far ahead, and all we're looking at from the end of this game is London Scholars next week, and then if we get the result there, we're just looking at the Hunslet game the week after. So it's about just taking things as they come along, and you know, our focus now is on London Scholars. We'll get this game out of the way on Tuesday. Have a look at some video, see where we can improve, and then we'll get into the next game, which hopefully will bring us another 2 points.
So what would it mean to you and the players to lift the crown if we did get it?
I think it'd be a fantastic achievement for the whole club. I think everybody's had a part of it. You know, the people who work behind the scenes in the office, John Guilford, the directors, the players, all the support staff, and the fans have had a massive part this year. I just think the support they've given throughout the year has just been second to none. They're always behind the team. They turn up with the drum, and they're just fantastic. Nearly every game we've gone to has been like a home game because of the support. The surroundings change because we're not at Huntington, but the noise the crowd generates is bang on, and it's great for the blokes. You know, that they love it, and it's great to know most grounds we've been at this year we've actually had more supporters than the home team. So they've played a big part this year as well.
Well, fingers crossed, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
So that's all from us here at Bloomfield Road in Blackpool. The Knights are top of the league, 5 points clear with only 4 games left. Join us next time to see if the lads can lift that NL2 title. Bye bye.